You got 20 minutes.
20
minutes. 20 sweet minutes.
20 sweet minutes.
So what are you going to do with your 20 minutes?
I'm gonna become a doctor. Clear. Me? I'm gonna take up smoking. I'm gonna be getting another problem-causing addiction that's gonna send my family into a downward spiral like 3 years ago. We'll start with diabetes. Oh, me? I'm gonna wish for 20 more minutes. 20 sweet more minutes. Because you never know when the next heart attack's gonna come.
No. Burger eating slut. What are you gonna do with your 20 minutes? 20 sweet more minutes you get to just be. Probably sweet fuck all. Because that's how your day is always going. You never get up and do anything, do you? I wonder what your life is like scrolling on the internet, hand on gland, waiting to troll some innocent person who just wants to show what her fucking dinner looks like on the internet. You're a complete fucking asshole. You know that, right? You're fucking pathetic. You sicken me. And it's time you found way fucking more than 20 minutes to get your fucking shit together. You fucking pile of shit. We're watching you watching us.
Thanks for my 20 sweet minutes. 20 more puffs closer to the epitaph. Disclaimer, 20 minutes isn't really guaranteed. It comes sold separately, as they'd say on TV. Like, we never know if we have 20 more minutes. Because, you know, cars are known to hit people, horse and buggies come flying out of nowhere, you know, and they hit people and they explode on impact. Yeah, it's all on the internet or in your head or whatever, you know, reality. So, you know, enjoy your 20 sweet minutes if you have them, and we'll see you next time. They probably got the picture. Thank you so much! Subscribe, like the video if you liked it. I really appreciate you getting this far, watching the whole thing, watching what's on Plywood's mind at this point, or however long it took to edit this. It does take time, and it does get real fun! So yeah, subscribe, like, comment, because I like to hear your opinion, whether it's shitty or not, because it's an opinion, and you're allowed to have one. It's not gonna blow up my ears or anything. Hi, my name is Anthony. Most people call me Malloy. I don't know why, actually. Probably because I was a very forgettable teenager. Or because Anthony's probably hard to remember. Anyway, I search for water in my home. Where it comes from, where it goes after it's used. And I've been doing this at a very young age. Child. I'm going to try to put my theories to rest today.
Now, I've noticed that snow goes away at the end of every winter, and I don't know where it disappears to. But at a mid-age, I was told that snow is frozen water. So instead of having a H2O no, I'm going to keep researching on where it goes after it has been used and melted. I even closed off my esophagus temporarily to see if the water would escape into my body. It didn't.
Figure out where the snow melts into last year. I can figure out where my used water went. I can finally put this mystery to bed. Like a sleeping animal, someone's dying relative. It's gonna tell Fred on my phone, he knows water. Yeah, hi, Fred?
Are you calling about the water again? Water fucking evaporates, end of discussion. Now let me masturbate alone. Noise free, or I'll kill your entire relative bloodline.
Well, he probably didn't get his cornflakes this morning. I somehow don't believe him. But I got another trick up my sleeve. It's in there, but we're gonna find it.
So upon further research, yep, snow melts into the ground. Ergo, the water in my house must evaporate into my basement. Water is too hard to catch sometimes. So, maybe ice will get to the bottom of this predicament. Put it down and see if it melts into the basement further. Damn it! Ice disappears like snow water.
I'm gonna need a lot of help. Fred, he's not helping, so local phone book. Gonna dial some numbers. We're gonna get going. Okay. Ansel Aardvark. Hello, Ansel Aard. Oh. Message machine. Hi, Barbara Belva. Yeah. I know. I've heard it a few times today. Dinner? Well, I don't know you, but... Alright. Yes, is this Floyd Featherton? Yeah, I got some questions about water. Oh. Well, I'm going through every single name in the phone book to get... Hello? It's Ingram Idiom? Yeah, I got some questions about water. Oh yeah, you don't have any information for me. Okay. That's great. You have an awesome day too. Oh. Water warehouse work. This has to be it. Has to be. Water warehouse. We know you got them. Pick up! Pick up! Come on. We know you're there. Malloy.
Where goes the H2Os?
Next level.
my mic's muted again. I did that again. It's like a thing. It's like an ongoing joke. Like, am I going to have my mic muted? But what I said was, I'm Chef Rodney, the host with the most. This is Channel 117, guys. Please excuse the dust and the debris and everything going on until we can kind of fine-tune and get everything straight to your face today. We're waiting for our guest to come and join us in studio here. Until then, I wanna talk about a little something. I want to kind of talk about my moment today. There was a moment today that I caught myself kind of looking like kind of at the skyline, the top of the trees, and that kind of sparked an idea. The idea here is kind of a stone thought of the day. Like, who am I, kind of how I think, and kind of get into the mind of me, really. You know, that's what it's about, kind of. But at the same time, I wanted to run it by everybody, so I'm just going to take this opportunity real quick while I have the moment, and we're kind of waiting on our guest today, to pitch you guys. You know, hey, what do you think about stone thoughts of the day? I mean, that's definitely something that I would be down about. You know, smoke a joint, post it on Instagram, tell you what I think, and go from there. You know, those types of things. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that there's anything negative that I wanted to talk about being the stone thought of the day. Sometimes it might be, but it's just going to be a random thought. Today, my stone thought of the day was this. How come we care so much about our grass? Like, I mean the grass in the yard. Like, the grass is like the number one, like, overpopulated thing, and like, it's not good for the environment. Where the fuck did it come from? They're like, hey, here's an idea. How about everybody obsess and manicure and landscape your lawn? That'll show off. Okay, all right, cool, right? No big deal. I fucking hate grass, but that's just me. I like the smell of fresh cut grass, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm willing to sacrifice that love of that smell for the better of the environment. You know what I mean? Like, it's I'd rather have clovers or like moss or something. Honestly, fuck grass. I just want wolves and woods or something, you know. And I then went out to I was in my backyard looking at the horizon, and then I went out to my front yard, and I noticed here in the city that a couple of utility companies that should remain nameless kind of spray painted these really atrocious and hideous and off-putting colors of spray paint in my yard. They're gonna dig or something. First and foremost, and correct me if I know there's utility workers out there that have, you know, they can do this and they can do that. But they can't do everything, y'all. That's what you need to know, okay? You just let them do it. Don't fucking let them do it. They cannot come on your property without permission. Doesn't matter, okay? Doesn't matter. And if they do, producer's hitting me up that he just got into the backstage real quick. We'll get to him in a second real quick. But if they do spray paint something on my lawn and I don't like it and it's, you know, atrocious, how the hell is that not defamation of private property? Okay, time out. If I go to their place where they live and I spray paint shit in their yards, guess what? I get in trouble. That's defamation of private property. It is what it is. I don't care what company it is. Don't spray paint my fucking yard without permission. I like how they came to my house and they were like, oh, we're here to change your box. I was like, no, you're not. I ain't know about it. If you don't know about anything, don't come onto my yard and don't come into my house. I got nothing to hide. I'm just saying, make an appointment first. I may not be home. You feel me? On top of which, I ripped up, they put the flags in there, you know, so they know where to dig and stuff. And that's absolutely fine, and that's great. Had you asked permission? Well, now I just picked up all your flags, and I put them in a sack, and I put them to the side of my yard so I can mow my lawn. What happens when I mow my lawn, and your flags aren't there, and I throw them away or whatever? You feel me? What happens? You didn't ask permission to put those flags on my property. You didn't ask permission to spray paint my lawn, and from what I understand, there's nothing I can do about it. Well, there is. It's not illegal to mow my own lawn. You can't stop me from that. It's not illegal to paint over said lines if I chose to, or to completely, you know, eradicate it, because let's face it, you made my yard look like shit. Not to mention, you're telling me I can't mow around. No. You can have your flags back, and when you want to go do some construction, I don't give a shit what it is. I don't care if you have to move my house. You best ask for permission. That's what it is. Too many companies nowadays are walking all over us, and here's the thing. If I don't pay them, I get in trouble. Or they shut off my power or whatever have you. How is that not entrapment? That's what I want to know. How is that legal? You understand? They're the only company. I can't go solar. I'm not allowed to do that in the city of Lansing for some reason. I can't go 100% solar even though I want to. I can't live off the grid. So you have to buy their utilities in order to have things in your house, and you have to pay them what they it's not fair, man. It's really not. And I didn't really appreciate them doing that to my lawn without asking. even letting me know what was going on. Obviously, I put 2 and 2 together, and obviously I've seen it before. But my stone thought of the day, I was like, what gives them the right to do that? So I took all the flags down. There's no law saying I can't, and it's my lawn. That being said, I'm done talking about lawns. That was a good stone thought of the day. You know, let me know how you guys like that. If you like it, we'll get to it, you know, a little bit more. But the cool thing, guys, today, our guest, Mike McCurdy, is a badass in Michigan. This guy, you hear his name everywhere, you see him everywhere, but you don't know exactly what goes on in his mind. So without any other further ado today, guys, let's get him in the show. Mike, what's going on? I appreciate you coming on the show today, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man.
Love what you're doing with your show.
I appreciate it, man. You know, it's the goal is just to educate. You know what I'm saying, and kind of eradicate the stigma that, let's face it, it shouldn't even be there. You know what I mean? Like, no one should have ever went to jail for this plant. The stigma should never have existed in the first place. And the reason that the stigma did exist, and correct me if I'm wrong, was complete financial gain on you know, certain people's, you know, parts and business parts back in the day. You know what I mean?
I mean, that certainly played a role. I mean, we can't, you know, under Nixon, they began targeting, you know, weed users mainly because they were leftists and they were black people. To be honest, it was they couldn't come after people for their politics or for being black directly. So they made cannabis laws, and it's the same people, right?
Exactly. The whole war on drugs thing was some of the dumbest shit that's ever happened in this United States. A lot of money was wasted on that. And if you think about it, if we take the money that was wasted on the war on drugs, from the DARE textbooks to the T-shirts to McGruff the crime dog, although McGruff was kind of a badass, but that's not the point here. If you take all of that and all of those, you know, utilities and things that we've used and put it into furthering the research of cannabis and cancer and the like, we would have moved a lot further, you know, I believe, technologically and medically. But that's just my opinion. I want to know about Mr. McCurdy, man. I want to know, like, what is it that makes you who you are in the state of Michigan cannabis-wise?
You know, really, I was asked to reorganize the Cannabis Caucus.
Okay.
You know, it was founded by some great people who did a lot of great work. But you know, they'd all gotten busy and they hadn't met in a year or so. And so I was made chair because people knew I was, you know, had an organizing background. And you know, I'm a cannabis user my whole life, you know, since I was a teen, and you know, and worked on various legalization campaigns throughout my life. But it hasn't been the main thrust of my activism until really I was you know, kind of had the job of reorganizing the Cannabis Caucus. And once I got that position, you know, when I ran for that position, what I said was like, I want to get cannabis prisoners out. We had gotten the promise from Gretchen Whitmer when she was a candidate that she would back us in releasing all cannabis prisoners and giving expungement as well. And she's fulfilled some of those promises, but there's still people sitting in prison on cannabis. They still are, and it's unacceptable, you know.
100%. No, man, I appreciate it. And I'm all about spreading the word of that. You know, as a matter of fact, I kind of want to get to know you a little bit with the gauntlet. We call it the gauntlet. It's jokingly called the gauntlet, but it's really just a bunch of who, what, when, where, and why questions of kind of like who you are, and to get us better in the mind frame of you. So, yeah, I mean that's really kind of what we do here in the show. Let me reintroduce myself. My name's Chef Rodney. That's my moniker. That's what I've earned my entire life. You know, I've put blood, sweat, and tears into things, and into kind of delving into the world around me, and kind of, you know, feeding my hunger for knowledge around the world. Specifically here, cannabis, and talking to people like Mr. McCurdy. One of the best things I could ever ask to do, to figure out why this is important, where it's supposed to go, and put a voice with a little bit of action, you know, to get these boots moving, to get the governor to fulfill, you know, all of her promises. I mean, it's not really what we do that's important, it's how we do it and why we do it, right? That being said, y'all, this is the Daily Chronicles coming at you with the gauntlet coming soon. What's up, y'all? Chef Rodney 117 here. Welcome to the Daily Chronicles. Now, here at the Daily Chronicles, we are back with another episode with a 5W gauntlet. We want to figure out who, what, when, where, and why. Mr. McCurdy, Mr. McCurdy. If you're ready, man, we can kind of dive right into it a little bit. First time W's. Who, what, when, where, and why of your first experiences with cannabis. First time W's. Mike. Who, what, when, where, and why. Who was the first person you ever smoked weed with?
Oh shit, my older sister.
Okay,
my older sister. Yeah. In the boiler room of a co-op that I now take care of doing the maintenance as a job. So so I didn't stray too far from home.
There it is. First time W's. Who, what? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
You're all right. I didn't mean to kind of walk all over it. We're having a little bit of lag issues here on the production end, but hey, c'est la vie internet, right? That's what it is, man. First time W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. What was the first thing you ever smoked? Was it a bong, joint, dab, spliff, or the proverbial pop can?
It was a joint. Yeah, it was good. Dude, I got dizzy, honestly. Like, she took me to the store and I was just like lost. And then we went over to my parents' house for some dinner or something to visit. And I was just zoned, completely zoned. It was, I was a cheap date then for sure.
Oh, it's happened to me more than once. So don't feel bad.
Yeah.
It's happened to me way more than once. Who, what, first time W's, who, what, when, where, and why. Mike, when was your first time smoking a left-handed cigarette? You said this was your first time?
Yeah, that was my first time smoking. Yep, and it was good.
And what? Yeah, well, I mean, it better have been good. I mean, look where it's gotten so far, right?
Right.
It worked out. First time W's, who, what, when, where, and why. Where were you when you first smoked the CHRONIclez? You said the boiler room?
Oh yeah, the boiler room. Yeah, it was in this amazing cooperative house that my sister lived in. She was a couple years older than me, so she had a college house, and it had a giant living room with like psychedelic spirals in all colors, painted on the ceiling. Just classic. Yeah.
I don't think you could have asked for a better scene of imagery, if you will. You know what I mean? I think
right. No, exactly. What a great place. Thank you for bringing back the memory. Honestly, I hadn't thought of that in so long. Like, wow,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing about memories and kind of time travel. If you subscribe to that kind of theory, quantum physics, we've been worried about the time travel of moving our actual bodies to specific points in time, when really time travel itself does exist if you think about it. If you can, with the sensations, taste being flavors, feelings, emotions, thoughts, image, all of that can be brought back, and you can travel back in time with just a mere thought. And that's the lovely part about it. So why would you want to move your actual body, in time when you could move your mind? That to me, that's amazing. First time W's. Speaking of amazing, first time W's, Mike. Who, what, when, where, and why. At the end of the day, putting the period at the end of the sentence, why did you smoke weed the first time?
Well, so let me go back a minute, because a few years before that, I think for the first time ever, somebody offered it to me, and they didn't offer it actually. They said, we were at my high school freshman year. Her name was Frankie. She holds out her hand and she's like, look what I stole from my dad. And, with all the anti-drug stuff that we've been put through the DARE program over and over again, all the commercials, that said, say no to crack while showing a picture of a joint in the hand, all that kind of garbage. As soon as I saw that joint and Frankie said, hey, look what I stole from my dad, I said, hey, let's smoke it. I don't know what that says about me, but that's literally what I said. And she was like, no, I'm gonna wait till later. But I was down right in that moment as soon as I had the opportunity,
So your story reminded me of something that I did that was, not to mention horrible, but half hellish to boot. I haven't always been the amazing angel you see in front of you. Sorry.
It does look
I
like
was
you have
this
wings.
Little bit, right? Little green wings, yeah. I am a recovering narcissist. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm an asshole. That's what it is. But at the same time, I have since, redeemed myself, I guess, with some things. But long story short, we were at this party and this kid came with. He always had fireweed because his brother had it. You know what I mean? His brother could. That's where it came from. And we always got a really, really good deal because, his brother was cool with everybody. But he was like, hey, if you hang out with my boy Franco, with my little, my brother Franco, I'll hook you up. He's like, just get him out. I'm trying to have my girlfriend over. Like, kid needs to fuck off. You know what I mean? Stop bugging me. And so we said, all right. And we picked up, some medicine from him that night. And Franco got in the car and came with us. Well, as soon as we got back to the house and we started partying and stuff, like, nobody really wanted to deal with Franco, you know what I mean? But at the same time, we couldn't think about how to fuck with Franco. We're smoking all this weed, we're drinking, we're partying up. We're 15, 16 years old, all right? All of us losers at some certain level or another, okay? And Franco was like, hey, guys, and he was just being the biggest cockblock, period. Like, listen, Franco, fuck off. So we wanted to get back at Franco. So we went into this bedroom, and while we were in this bedroom, there's like another like little bathroom room behind it or something or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know, it was a huge house. And so like we could hear like people's arms bumping against the drywall, and we're like, the fuck is going on? Well, my boy Coulter and his girlfriend were missing, right? And so like we're like, okay, now we know what's going on. All right. There was a pillow missing from the bed, and we're like, okay, yeah, now we know what's going on. So, my buddy just starts pounding on the door, Franco, and he was like, hey, I gotta piss, and da-da-da-da. So they have to stop what they're doing, because Franco has to piss. We don't know why he couldn't go upstairs to use the upstairs bathroom, but whatever. So he goes in and uses the bathroom, and he comes back out, and he goes back into the party. I'm sitting there staring at a blue-balled, best friend and his, his bodacious, beauty next to him, and like they're both just kind of like, we need to get back at him for what he just did. I'm like, I have an idea. So if you arouse a man so far, things happen at the end of that, and it creates a mess. Let's face it, it's a sticky situation. Okay, well, that pillow was the best pillow in the world. So I was like, hey, check it out, why don't you finish, if you will, on this pillow, and we'll let him use it tonight to sleep on. Yeah, watching him peel that off of his face the next morning, priceless. But it doesn't stop there. We felt bad, so we rolled him up a joint. What we didn't say was, when he was in the bathroom doing that with his girlfriend, creating said sticky situation for Franco, we also did a little bit of bush trimming, if you will, and rolled that up into a joint and gave it to him. Franco didn't really smoke weed, but he really wanted to fit in with us, and he really trusted us, and this is where I feel bad about it, but yeah, he ended up smoking an entire joint of pubes to himself. Yeah.
Boy, that's gross. That's really gross.
It was terrible. It was he didn't. You got to give him points though, because he didn't stop. He just kept like, I got to impress these guys, and I know that feeling. And quite honestly, it's probably that karmic moment that's allowed me to kind of look back and reflect, if you will. Speaking of reflection, we've reached the second level of the gauntlet, the second level of hell, if you will, which is really not even a bad place. But Mr. McCurdy, favorite W's: who, what, when, where, and why. Who is your favorite person to smoke weed with?
Favorite person to smoke weed with. Oh, there's so many. There's just so many. I'll tell you, my neighbor TJ, Chef Waller, he's like, we hatch a lot of our plans for the world. Like, just walking distance from my house, so I don't got to drive anywhere. He's a hippie from the 60s. It's been master chef, cooks the most amazing food. Just like it's a good place to smoke. It's a good place to smoke. he might whip up some kind of like gourmet, like a little snack or dessert, just like real quick out of the kitchen and be like, hey, why don't you eat this? Now you're all stoned on my couch. It's like, he's a pretty amazing host. Really lucky to have him as a neighbor.
Yeah, it's funny because like everybody knows a good chef. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be the same one or not, I think that chefs are necessary, especially if you smoke weed. It's like.
Oh yeah.
My
life's better with a chef involved.
Thank you. I'm gonna quote that. My girlfriend asked me to cook dinner last night, so I was like, okay. I was like, what do we have? And I normally don't like using pasta out of a bag, but when you have it and it's a good quick boil it, call it a day. Do what you gotta do, al dente, all that shit. I did, however, make a ragu sauce, like a real quick on-the-fly ragu, and so we had, rigatoni ragu, basically. I did it the right way, and it's important to do things the right way, and it was banging. I also infused it, but we don't talk about that.
Very nice, very nice.
For favorite W's, Mike, who, what, when, where, and why? What is your favorite way to consume cannabis?
It's really just old-fashioned joint, I buy orange zigzags, just rolling it up, and honestly though, what COVID's done, where there's no more passing of joints, I don't like that. Like I really like getting together with people and passing a joint around a circle. That's
what
like.
If I told you that there's a safe way to do that?
I mean. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure you can figure it out. Yeah.
Well, there's a company. It's Mouthpiece, PEACE.com.
Mm-hmm.
They create these like little mouthpieces. Well, this one's for bongs and stuff, and you can't see it because it's obviously green with the green screen. But you can take your joints, your blunts, whatever, and stick them in this little filter, and not only will it filter it for you, but you can take it out and pass it. You see what I'm saying? So you don't have to put your lips, the whole COVID thing, on the same exact joint. And that's what people are complaining about. Not, whatever have you. What people don't understand is if there were anything bad in the actual joint, it's going to get burnt off because that's how.
Oh, I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
Right.
It's the lips on it. It's the lips on it.
Right. So if we can cut that part out, you know what I'm saying? It'll work out pretty well. Well, I've got a bunch of these different mouthpieces. They're all
nice.
Not in the studio, but they're amazing. They're cheap. They're silicone. They're inexpensive, and it cleans your hit just in case. There's not as much resin and nastiness going in your lung. And
I love it. That's great. I should get a little baggie of those and just have them in my house.
Oh yeah. And just put here. There you go.
That's right.
It looks professional as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like
Yep. No, I love it. I love it.
I'll get you one. What color do you want?
Oh God, purple.
Purple works. That's my mom's favorite color. Let's get it. Speaking
All
of
right.
favorites, favorite W's, Mike. Who, what, when, where, and why? When do you most enjoy consuming cannabis?
After my kids are in bed.
I think that's a really, really good time to consume cannabis. You know what I'm saying? I'm all for using CBD if they need it, but not THC. That's where I draw the line.
A couple beers and start smoking, because then I know I don't have any responsibilities after that. I know I'm done with my daily responsibilities. I can just relax. That's the time.
I get it. I love it. First time W's, man. Who, what, when, where, and why?
Oh, you know what? Well, let me say something else.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. And what I like to do is I like to walk late at night. I got trails right by my house back in the woods. So I just go dark. I just walk and smoke. And it's the best. It's the best. Like, it's just like, animals running all around, frogs and it's cool.
I love smoking joints and hiking. Like I happened upon the elusive DNR ranger in the woods, and I'm smoking a joint, and he's looking dead at me. There's nothing you can do. What the fuck are you gonna do? I'm smoking a joint in the middle of the forest. You just so happen to be here. If a tree fell in the woods and we didn't hear it, it doesn't make a sound. The point is, so I asked him, I was like, do you care about smoking joints and walking through? You know, like, are you guys supposed to enforce this? He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, I just smoked a joint myself. You know what I mean? I was like, sweet.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? Not trying to convict this guy or anything, but I was like, sweet, man. He's like, dude, yeah, smoke a joint and go walk. He's like, I wish more people would do it, right? Get their heads out of their ass. I was like, all right, man. Fist bump because of COVID and went on our way. So it's like,
Nice.
as long as you're not out there, you know, shooting at animals or smashing everything. And I mean, if you're foraging, cool. Everybody should forage. But as long as you're not out there kind of ruining, you know, his workplace, I don't think he gives a shit. And not to mention, don't ruin nature, you know?
Yep.
Favorite
Also
W's?
though, generally speaking, hide it from the cops because I still don't trust any of them, you know?
No. I don't either. I'll be honest with you. I really don't either. But favorite W's, who, what, when, where, and why, and maybe it's the woods here. But everyone knows a place, man. Where is your favorite spot to smoke weed?
I mean, yeah, I gotta say the woods. If I can,
Definitely yeah.
Lake Michigan, if I can be at Lake Michigan,
Yep.
you know, I mean that's the spot, right? I mean, you know, I don't know, Tequamanon Falls, Upper Peninsula, that's pretty
Yes.
you know, but like yeah, like it's really
Well, see,
anywhere
here's the thing.
in the beauty of nature, you know.
Falls, though. Exactly. Obviously you can't be in Michigan and not go to Tequamanon Falls. Sorry, that was a tongue twister there. You can't smoke like a joint in public there because there's people everywhere. You know.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Right. But you.
I guess I was thinking about the campground. The campground was good.
Campground's a
You
whole
know,
different story,
like yeah. So it's like that area, you know, when I'm in that space, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're right. It's too crowded. It's too crowded there, unfortunately. Yeah.
It's fine, but if you take an edible, that's a whole different story.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That's a whole different story. I remember the girlfriend and I, we pulled up, okay, and we were going to be out there for a few hours, so we knew pull up, have lunch, which was our edible, and then go. That's what we did.
Exactly.
And probably about 20, 30 minutes into the walk, so right as we got down, you know, they kicked in, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. You know,
so, yeah, here's a $1 billion idea right here. You know, the pub at the end of the hiking trail at Tequamanon Falls. There's a brewery there. Like that's where the next smoke room needs to go. so you can have a beer and a smoke at the end of your hike. That'd be
absolutely.
That'd be a tourist attraction for sure.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to Michigan's consumption lounges opening. I mean, there's a bunch of different clubs.
Super excited. Yeah.
Exactly. It's just like to be able to sit back and just be like, I'm going to Shangri-La. And I'm like, oh, dude, let's go, man. That's the new clubbing scene. I'm good with it. You feel me? I'm good with that. It's like if you take a clubbing scene with a hookah house and smash them together, there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm older. I'm not into clubbing, but I just want to like sit down and be able to smoke a joint with someone like the same way you go to a bar and sit down and drink a beer. You know, exactly. Like it shouldn't be more complicated than that. No. You know?
Exactly. Which leads me to the last question of the second leg of the gauntlet here, the favorite W's. Who, what, when, where, and why, bud? Again, period at the end of the sentence, man. To wrap it up in a neat little bow, why do you smoke weed?
Why? Oh gosh, I think it's just relaxing. You know, we live in a stressful world. It's you know, so like something to just like. I guess for me, it relaxes me, and then it allows me to think deeply about like things I care about and things I want to be thinking about. Or if I'm with other people, it just allows us to sort of like leave the rest of the world behind and kind of groove in the moment, you know, and just get real with each other, you know. So it's always been a way to make friends, and I don't mean that in a way of like you just need it to make the friends or to meet the people, but it's like the conversations you have like while you're kind of doing that ritual of smoking a joint together. That's why I like the joint, because it feels like it's that you're handing it back and forth or around the circle, and it's the conversations that are happening.
Communal.
It's a communal thing, and you're all going into the sort of the same buzz together, and it's
so, if you think about it, back before like paper, okay, paper was invented in papyrus and blah blah blah, but back before papers, Indians smoked weed. Let's not deny this. What the fuck do you think a peace pipe was?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm not good at my my marijuana history, but I'm sure people have smoked it for a long time.
Oh, they're finding it in you know, tombs of pharaohs and all of these things. My question is this: how many times in history have we found these things out, and then with the war on drugs just covered it up, and then tried to erase it from the history books, which is not okay. You know what I mean?
The war on drugs is part of the whole prison industrial complex. It's been a way to take away all our rights, so cops can kick in our doors at will. They can pull us over. They can search our cars. I mean, it's the war on drugs has been an excuse to just take all of our civil liberties. Who the fuck would have thought that in this country, where people think they live in a free country, yet cops come and kick in our doors at will, blow them up, guns out, kill people while they're sleeping on their couch. It's out of control, right? That's the war on drugs.
Absolutely, and it's terrible. Cop comes and kicks in my door for what they think they have a warrant for, legal or not. They kick in my door, guns drawn, the whole nine. If I grab a sidearm and I fire back at a person, I don't know who it is in my house, all right? I fire back and I kill that cop, not only am I labeled a cop killer, okay, I just committed a murder.
And you're dead.
I don't know.
Let's be honest. And you're dead because they also shoot you like 5,000 times, right?
Exactly.
I mean,
oh no, yeah, no, it's not even. But my point is, let's say that there was just a few cops or whatever, okay, and I fired back at a cop. Oh yeah, they would fire. It's terrible. But why are you kicking in my door? You feel me? Like,
yeah. There was one case. I believe his name was Bear Lincoln, if I'm remembering right, in Northern California in the '90s. He was a Native American, and they had a statewide manhunt going for him because he had shot and killed an FBI agent when they were raiding his property. Or it was either a cop. No, I think it was a cop, actually. I'm sorry, I got that wrong. And the thing is when that went to trial, he eventually turned himself in. When that went to trial, the jury let him off on self-defense because the cops had a whole history of coming in and killing native peoples. And and they came in guns blazing, and they said, that was reasonable. That was self-defense. And that never happens. But it should happen. Right, we do have a right to defend ourselves, and like you said, if they're kicking anyone's door in the middle of the night, they should expect return fire.
I'm right there. I'm right there with you. I'm a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, but I don't look at it the same way everybody else does. You're impeding on my rights. No. Right to bear arms means to protect your fucking self, okay? I'd rather have a gun and not need it than need it and not have it. That's the fact. You understand? I know the business end of a gun. I know it operates. I'm a pretty good shot. The point is, I'm not going to go out and just go insane and take a rifle and start shooting people that's not me. That's not my problems. That's not how I solve shit, okay? However, you kick in my door with or without a fucking warrant, I'm going to fire back. And then we'll ask questions. Because that's my point. I've got shit here in my home. This is my home that I pay taxes for. You know what I'm saying? That I'm protecting. I'm protecting my family. I'm protecting me. I'm protecting my home. You kick in my door, I'm gonna fire back. You got to get past my dogs first. Yeah, they might look cute and cuddly, but they don't like intruders. You kick in that door, they're gonna have problems with you. But they don't, talking about this makes us sound like the assholes and not the people. There shouldn't be a reason for this. You understand?
No, it's out of control. It's out of control. Exactly. We got to get rid of the no knock warrants where they just knock down your door. Like it's completely unacceptable. I mean, unless you are raiding like an armed terrorist group with like a history of killing police, there's absolutely no excuse for that kind of behavior.
And please, police officers, cops, public, whatever you want to call yourselves, okay? Please learn the difference between a warrant and an order. Those are two different things. A warrant means you can arrest me anywhere on spot. An order, or a bench warrant, means you really can't do a goddamn thing. You understand? So I think that, because here's the thing, we have this legal system, right? We have this legal system in America. That's it. We're going to talk about that, okay? Where the problem is you have attorneys fighting police officers. Police officers, sorry guys, are dumb as shit, okay? You don't have to really actually do anything to become a cop. You can become a cop and they put a gun in your hand in 8 months. That's not okay. But to become an attorney, it's almost like a decade or so. It's a lot of work and shit. My point is, those cops don't know what is legal and what's not, really. They know what they can arrest you for and what they can't. The rest of it is all the courts. You understand? You're going to tell me that if you're like, okay, subsection 2 this and do that, this is technically illegal. Okay, well then arrest him. However, They re-amended it. Well, it's not. So the cop doesn't know what to fucking do. The cop is literally just a little puppet. It's the people behind that we're aiming for. Yo, stop this shit. You understand? I don't even want to talk about the rest of extortion for police officers, but at the same time, like, there are good cops. I'm not going to deny that. They are. There are great cops. There are terrible cops, too, okay? And the good cops should probably do a little bit of diligence and help us out the bad cops. That's how we do the reform. You understand?
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many good cops you have. It's a bad system. It's a corrupt system.
It's a
the good cops.
system.
Good cops can't fix the system. Nobody should have that kind of power.
That's true.
No, you know, we can't give people guns and the ability to be kicking in our doors, pulling people over, pulling them out of their cars, shooting people, killing people. We don't need that. Why are we paying for that?
No.
We don't want to pay for that. Nobody wants to pay for that. So we should stop paying for that.
Really?
You know, that's where the defund the police comes in. You know, we don't need to pay for that. You know, we need people coming into, you know, we need people coming into our communities. We need social workers in our communities. We need, you know, a guy with a gun shouldn't be showing up unless there's a need for a guy with a gun. And most of the time, that's just not the case. You know.
Absolutely. I mean, I look at it this way, like, the entire system is fucked. It really is. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I will tell you this. It is. It really is. I really yearn for a better world. I really do. That's why we're doing this activism type of thing. But
hey,
it's really
my apologies. I'm gonna have to move while I'm talking to you to my truck so I can plug in. My phone's gonna die otherwise.
You're all right. You're all right. Speaking of crazy shit that we kind of want to change, man, then this next little section is called the Crazy W's. The Crazy W's are all kind of about this, you know, that one time you just smoked way too much weed. Crazy W's, Mike, who, what, when, where, and why? Who was with you the first time you got just way too high?
Oh gosh, you know, I'm old. I'm like 46, so like the first time is like, I don't know, man. You know, but I can tell you like some good times. Like, so I was the time that comes to mind is I was out with a bunch of Earth Firsters. We were protecting the redwood forest. We had a road blockaded out like in the middle of the old growth forest, and people would just donate weed to us like crazy, right? You know, because they loved what we were doing. So like weed just showed up faster than we could eat it, faster than we could smoke it, faster than it could be consumed. And so we put it in everything, and we made this breakfast, or no, dinner one night. It was potatoes, and someone just stir fried in all this like weed and our whole camp. There's like 15 of us, and we were just laid out like on the hillside. Nobody made it back to their tent. Like it was like the sky was just fucking spinning. You know, it was like it was one of those where it's just like there was no moving, you know, and it was the entire, like, if the cops had raided us that night, it would have been all over. We were supposed to lock ourselves to stuff and everything, but no, it wouldn't have happened, you know. They'd just had to drag us away.
I feel it, man. I've been there before. Who, what?
It happens only with edibles, right?
Yes and no. Edibles, yes, but I've done a lot of. I have a history of substance abuse, and so. Sorry. Wasn't trying to take that a different way, but.
No, yes, that's fine. That's fine.
But Crazy W's, man. Who, what, when, where, and why? What pushed you over the edge that night? Was it just too much, or?
Oh, it was just, dude. I mean, we just ate. We were hungry, right? Mm-hmm. That was the mistake. Is we cooked it in with something that was our dinner, and we were all starved. And so, you know how it is when you're camping and you cook good food. You just eat and eat and eat. So we all ate till we were stuffed, right? And then we were just done for.
Oh man, I've been there. Crazy W's. Who, what, when, where, and why? When was this?
Oh God, I want to say, probably late '90s would be my guess.
Okay. Crazy W's. Who, what, when, where, and why? Where did you say this took place again? Like, where were you?
Northern California, the close to the Headwaters Forest region. We were actually fighting to protect the Headwaters Forest. grove of ancient redwood trees that was being destroyed by a corporation at that time, Pacific Lumber Company. They were just clear cutting the whole thing. They were liquidating. They basically took over. They did a hostile takeover of a local.
Little bit of lag there.
They were liquidating the old growth forest, and we were just camped out there trying to stop it. And we were actually somewhat successful in this corrupt system. Like the federal government bought out a bunch of it, and so there's actually a Headwaters state park there now, or national, national state park. Can't remember. It must be national because the national government did it. So in Northern California. So that's where it was.
That's pretty.
Headwaters Forest before it was protected.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Crazy W's. Who won one?
Why? I can't hear you. That's bad.
Uh-oh. I can hear you. You can't hear me. Oh, because of the AirPods?
Gone.
If you take your AirPods off, can you hear me now?
Let's see, dude.
Oh,
there we go.
Apple stuff, man. Yeah, you can.
Yeah, there we go. I can hear you again.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Boom, there it is. Sometimes it's the AirPods, man. I have the same thing. Honestly, I lose them.
Right.
Even if they're in the little thing, I lose them. But Crazy W's, who, what, when, where, and why. To kind of put the period at the end of the sentence here for the Crazy W's, man. Why did this happen? Why did you get really, really baked that night? You just kind of wanted to go for it?
I mean, I can't say there's a lot of thought to it. We just we're camping out in the forest. We smoked all the time. I mean, it's just, it was just living in the forest. That's what you do, I guess.
That's what you do, man. That's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Man, I love it, dude. Like, I really wish, obviously we're going to talk about some activism, a little bit after the show and stuff like that, but I really wish I could get more connected with what's going on cannabis-wise here in Michigan, and obviously I'm talking to the right people, and so I'm definitely going to be reaching out here soon to a lot of people to see where I can do more, do my part, kind of give back to the community, help change, shape the world a little bit, man. That'd be pretty awesome, pretty gnarly, man. We have one last stretch of the gauntlet, and then we've made it through. If you're ready, man, we can skip right to the plain W's.
Okay, sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. Who we are. There we go. Who, what, when, where, and why plain W's. Mr. McCurdy, do you wish you could smoke with, dead or alive?
Oh, that's a hard one. So many people. Bob Marley would be good. I'd love to talk to him. Love to talk to Che Guevara. I'm sure. I don't know for sure he smoked pot, but it seems like he probably did.
Fair enough. Well, let's go with Mr. Bob Marley. Everybody knows Mr. Bob Marley. Oh, I like the colors there. Plain W's. Who, what, when, where, and why. What would you smoke with Bob Marley?
Oh, I mean, I'm not that picky, to be honest. Just some good weed. I mean, it's just, I don't, like I said, whatever way he wanted to smoke it, really.
Right. There it is. Dealer's choice on that one. Dealer's choice.
Defer to the king.
You got to. You know what I mean? Plain W's, who, what, when, where, and why. When would you like this to take place? Like, time is relative.
Right now, man. If I got the opportunity, man, I'm gonna make it happen. I'm not gonna miss a beat on that one.
Yeah, don't miss it, man. Don't skip. Who, what, when, where, and why plain W's, Mike? Where, because everybody knows a place, would you smoke weed with him? Does it matter? Or?
Where? Jamaica. Gotta be in Jamaica. In his hometown, man. Wherever he's most comfortable, man. I want to be with him in his element.
Mm-hmm.
Like
get to know him, right.
Like, probably before he was famous too. If I get to pick a time, pick a time when he was just like a poor kid living in a, surviving. Yeah. I want to be that Bob Marley.
No wonder so many people kind of, look to him as an icon, because that's how we feel in this country. You know what I mean? A lot of us have to survive to live, if you will. But Plain W's, who, what, when, where, and why. We're at the end of the gauntlet. We made it through this last question. To put the period at the end of the sentence, to wrap up the Plain W's in a neat little bow. Mr. McCurdy, why would you smoke weed with Bob Marley?
Why? Oh man, I just want to know what makes the man tick, you know? It seems like he had a profound moral truth to himself that like just brought people together from all sides of united people, and it still unites people. You know, the truth, rings out in his voice. I've traveled a lot around the world and stuff, and everywhere you go, they're listening to Bob Marley. So it's a truth that's really like heard universally around the world. And it seems like people like him have the potential to really bring us all together, because everyone's always fighting, but Bob Marley is like, his message was love, and people hear it, so yeah, exactly, that's why,
man. That's what it is. And it's interesting because all he wanted to do was plant a seed. He must have known that. He probably grew his own cannabis and whatnot. But planting a seed, whether it be into the mind of a person or literally in your yard or in the forest or something, eventually, given time and patience and love and water and things, that it's going to grow into whatever plant. Well, obviously you planted down there, man. I love it. Love is something that we should probably put back into everything. You know what I mean? Put a little bit of love and time and care into shit and take your time, and it's interesting that I say that because like I grew up with all these chefs in the kitchen that said the exact same thing, and then they always told me, they're like, if you want to have the moniker chef, you need to learn how to use your time and love it. I'm like, that doesn't mean, what does that mean to me? Given more length in my career, it finally made sense to me, man. And it's amazing. But I do appreciate you coming on the show today, man. We're gonna do this little section real quick. It's called 30-second philosophy. Are you a philosophy man?
I don't know, man. I'm just a man.
Love it. Immanuel Kant would love you. I'm just a man. We're going to talk a little bit about Socrates. This is the Socrates method, okay? Socrates was said to be the wisest man in Athens because he knew nothing, okay? In these dialogues of Plato, Socrates attempted to spread such wisdom by going around asking people what they thought about a subject and then tricking them, asking them tricky questions until they contradicted themselves. Now, isn't that a lawyer?
Sure, right.
Does. Right. It's exactly what it is. It's interesting where they got that. Where's it at? For instance, in the dialogue Republic, he asks what justice, quote unquote, is, and Cephalus suggests that it's telling the truth and paying your debts. So, Socrates asks, if you borrow a sword from someone, you owe it to them to give it back, right? Right. But then, what if you know that person that you're giving the sword back to has gone off the deep end and is raving mad, okay? There would have to be exceptions, quote unquote, is what Cephalus said. So then, in this case, justice requires not giving someone what they are due. And Cephalus had undermined his own argument in revealing this, okay? He doesn't know, he said he didn't know that he didn't know what he thought he knew about the justice system. Socrates rests his case and then starts it on someone else. This method can be very negative, and have negative connotations. But if you want to end up with true beliefs, you have to test it on the one, test the good positive manipulation of this method very thoroughly. It's Socrates' contention that if you do so, you will find that most of what you think is wrong. So it definitely goes back to what you were saying, Mr. McCurdy. You're just a man. We're all just a person. But at the same time, being right doesn't fucking matter. Doing what's right, that's what matters. And that's what we're both about, man. You know what I mean? And again, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show. I really, really appreciate what you're doing. If people are looking out for you and kind of want to be a part of or support what you do, where can they find you?
My email address is mikemccurdy74 at gmail.com. So just MCCURDY. It's I'm easy to find. I'm on Facebook. So hit me up on Messenger. I'm the guy with the doing demo and the respirator. Got a Free Palestine, Black Lives Matter badge on my Facebook page. I'm easy to find. So
Absolutely, man.
Also, Cannabis Caucus. Look up Cannabis Caucus. Look up the Michigan Cannabis Freedom Coalition. That we're doing great work, working on amnesty and amnesty for marijuana prisoners. It's good work. So look us up.
Absolutely, guys. Man, thank you again, Mike. I look forward to talking with you. Hang on 2 seconds real quick, and we'll get back there to you. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you joining in another episode of the Daily Chronicles. I'm Chef Rodney. Mike McCurdy. What a guy, right? Make sure you guys tune in after the show. From now on, as we do the 30-second philosophy things, we're going to kind of tweak that up. The producer was just telling me to tell you guys that. But it's been an amazing episode, you guys. I absolutely love doing this. Like, share, favorite, subscribe, and ask yourself, what is channel 117? What is that? Until next time, my tokers, jokers, and smokers, I'll see you. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.